Hi folks, Hugo Rivera here with HugoRivera.net, and today I'm going to talk about the biggest secret to gaining muscle mass, simply because this is one of the questions that I get asked very often, and apparently a lot of people don't know about this, so I really want to go ahead and make sure that I covered that on this video today. We need to understand the basic principles of what causes the body to change. First of all, the body does not want to grow, okay? It really couldn't care less, to be honest with you. The body wants to stay in exactly the same state that it is right now, which is called a state of homeostasis. It's a state of balance. It doesn't gain muscle, it doesn't lose muscle. It just wants to stay the same. So how do we go ahead and make the body grow, so to speak? Well, we need to give it a stimulus that it's not used to, okay? And that's why we go to the gym. That's why all of us go ahead and weight train in order to go ahead and make the muscles adapt and grow to the stimulus, which is the weight training in this case. When you start, typically you go ahead and get really good results when you start your first weight training routine. We can all remember how many gains we made the first time we went to the gym, but as time goes by, what starts happening is that the body doesn't seem to respond as much. And why is that? Well, simply the body has gotten used to the routine. It's learned how to go ahead and cope with the stress and how not to go ahead and continue to evolve. That's the problem right there. Now, of course, that's assuming that your diet is right in line with your weight training, because training and dieting are kind of like a bicycle, okay? You can't run a bicycle unless you're really gifted with one wheel. You need two wheels, right? So it's the same thing with bodybuilding. If you go ahead and do your training but you're not doing your diet, then you're not fueling the body properly, and therefore no matter how much weight training you do, you're not going to go ahead and gain the muscle that you're looking for. The key thing to make the muscles grow is to continue to give them a stimulus that they're not used to. So I know a lot of you have read in bodybuilding magazines that the only way to do this is, you gotta put more weight and put more weight. It's not as simple as putting just more weight, because what happens is that eventually your body is not gonna go ahead and be able to put more weight, because let's say you're benching, 225 and you're doing it for 6 repetitions. If you're benching 225 for 6 and every single time you go to the gym you don't have the strength to do more than that, then the putting more weight is not the answer, is it? So what is the answer? The answer is a concept that is called periodization, and this concept really originated in the Eastern Bloc countries in Europe, and then in the US we went ahead and took it and started working more with it, and there's some really good experts on this subject, like Tudor Obampa, Charles Poliquin, and incredible experts that have taken that concept and basically honed it down to the science it is today, okay? And I stumbled upon periodization by accident, actually, back in the day when I was trying to figure out what worked and what didn't, and I kept such accurate notes that I started finding a pattern. I noticed that every single time I would do like a high volume routine, it would work for a little bit, then I would start getting overtrained, and then when I would go ahead and cut back and do like a more sort of heavy weights, less sort of sets, I would go ahead and gain some growth. So I started playing with that, and that's how I basically came up with my body re-engineering system. At the time, I wish I would have read about periodization, because that would have saved me years of trial and error. But anyways, that's kind of like how I stumbled upon periodization, okay? And periodization is just basically the concept of manipulating your sets, your repetitions, the amount of rest in between sets, and of course, changing the exercises in a logical manner so as to go ahead and maximize your muscle building results, okay? So what we're going to be doing is that we're going to go ahead and do periods of higher volume, okay? Less rest in between sets, higher repetitions, okay? More sets, of course, and then we're going to go ahead and do that up until the point that your body is almost at the brink of overtraining, and then we're going to go ahead and shift gears, and we're going to go into the sort of training routine that has less sets, okay, and it has less repetitions but more weight, and a little bit more rest in between sets, to allow the body to go ahead and have maximum recovery between sets in order to go ahead and lift heavier weights. Okay, so that's the principle of periodization. We also have a week that is called active recovery, and in this week you just train like a couple times a week, a full body routine, and you just go to the gym, you get a nice pump, you don't take your sets to failure. Okay, and failure is the point in which your body cannot do another repetition with good form. Okay, that's how I define failure. You don't even take the sets to failure. You go maybe like 3 repetitions before failure. That's when you go ahead and stop. That's called active recovery. All right. Now, how much do you do? How do you go ahead and arrange your whole workout? That's what I go ahead and cover in body reengineering. But in a nutshell, you can go ahead and do what I call the loading phase, which is the high volume phase. And on the average, you can go ahead and do anywhere between 8 to 15 repetitions. Sometimes these days I go as much as 20 repetitions, to be quite honest with you. But as a rule of thumb, 10 to 12 is fine. Okay, and you can go ahead and do that for like 3 to 4 weeks, and then you go ahead and change to a routine that is heavier on weights. You can go ahead and use pyramiding. You can go ahead and use sets of 5 to 7 repetitions, or you can pyramid like 8 repetitions the first set, 6 repetitions the next set, and then like 4 to 5 on the last set. You can play around with it, and in my body reengineering I give some general guidelines on how to do that, and I present you the routines exactly as I've done them, okay, to go ahead and get the results that have led me to looking the way I look today. But that's how you go ahead and do it. You do like 3 to 4 weeks of high volume, 3 to 4 weeks of lower volume, and then you go ahead and do like a week of active rest. And that's pretty much the principles of body reengineering. Now, periodization is basically just that. It's just kind of like manipulating your body via the use of weight training to where we take it to the brink of overtraining, and then we go ahead and back off. Okay, when we back off, what happens is that your body has a chance to go ahead and catch up, and the way it catches up is by increasing muscle size and by increasing strength. That's why we oscillate between high volume phases and lower volume phases. Okay, that's pretty much the principle. That's how we go ahead and make muscles grow.